We've got volume. There we go. That was smooth, wasn't it? Thank you, Colin. Oh, I'm stupid sometimes. Yeah, basically, since you missed all of that, the gist is we are going to be doing 2 videos worth of recording in this live stream. I might do another one later on, Football Manager shaped, but I don't know. And you guys are going to help me to script these videos. So what you say will effectively be what is said in the videos, unless I firmly disagree with you, but in that case, we can have a chat anyway. It's basically going to be stream highlight video tomorrow and later on today, which should be quite nice. So currently, I'm just doing the scripting for the Leeds United's best lineup 1. I think Ilamelier networks, doesn't it? That's what I've gone with in goal. In front, I'm going to say, if I can, because I don't want to spoil it all at the same time, but I'm going to need you guys to shout suggestions at me. Otherwise, things are going to like fall apart a little bit, aren't they? Oh, do not say that, Andy. I've managed to get myself tickets for it, and if it's penalties, I'm going to scream. I'm going to have a bit of a cry. I'm not in the headspace for that. And then I've got to go back the next day and then say hello to my Norwich co-worker, which is going to be great fun. I'd much rather that be the other way around. No, I don't see pens happening, to be honest with you. Didn't we win our most recent penalty shootout, though? Might have been FA or Carabao Cup, maybe against Fulham. But I'm not 100% sure. I know the last one we had at Elland Road was a cup match. Can't remember who against, but we lost because Jack Harrison hit the post. Because I was at that one, I think. Unless we've had another one more recently. You see, Andy, this is why I like you. 3-1 leads. Perfect. We take that every day of the week. No complaints. Sorry, at the moment, I'm just popping together this best lineup script. Which shouldn't take me too long, but that's okay. We lost a mini scum. That doesn't count. That's a youth game. Youth games don't matter. What are we thinking on the formation? I think that's a very fair question. Because I'm a little bit on the fence myself. Because I liked the 3 in midfield thing, but I think it might leave issues at 9. Like, it's not... It's very reliant on Reter, and if Reter's still not on form, then that could be a problem. So near yet so far a Wembley win. I mean, in theory, it's 11 days away. We just need to make that happen. I think he'll go back to the usual. Yeah, I think the idea was that other match was a case of let's get out of Carrow Road without being down a man. Which is fair enough. Like, I totally get it. But I think that's a good shout. I think we'll go with that. But what do we do in midfield? Because I think Ilya Gruev is a definite. Ilya Gruev is the holding midfielder because Ethan Ampadu will be playing at centre-back. You've just then got the follow-up question of... I'm gonna play a little bit of backgroundy music, I think. Let's go with... If it'll work. It won't work. Okay. A little bit of lo-fi. Why not? Why not? Because it's a little bit on the boring side. Let's go night driving. A little bit more It's quite nice. Yeah. Right, midfield. Ilya Grove. You see, the issue is Glenn Kamara had a good game, I think. Did we go out the season on pens in the League Cup? We did, to Salford, yeah. Kamara and Grove in a 2, agree if it's a 3. Yeah, I like that idea. I think that's what I'd go with. And then, either way, you've got Archie off the bench, haven't you? And then we go with the attacking unit. Left wing, it's got to be Crescencio Somerville, hasn't it? He's not droppable. In the middle of that, I want to say Georgie. Because I don't think today's the day that you drop Rutter as a 10. It's the other wing that throws me a touch. Because I do want to go James. One second, the dog is losing his nut, so I'll be 1 moment. Hello. What are you doing? Never mind, it's the neighbours attacking the wall with some power tools, which is really nice of them. Yeah, on the Somerville Nonto James, I'm going to go Dan James. And then I will have a little conversation point of, does Nonto fit here? Which I think is fair. Because I think with Nonto, quite often you'll get the performance, but you'll get a bit of head loss as well. Because I think James also does the... I think Nonto also does the impact job. I think Dan James will be our saving grace of getting past Wembley. Yeah, I think people have this annoying tendency to massively underestimate Dan James. And it's rude, you know? Morning, Joe. I got Cree, Joseph, Nonto in the 10, and DJ. There is a bit of a chat. You've always been part of the Dan James fan club. As someone that actually has been, I don't know if you have been, but who knows. Yeah. James has fallen into that Ritter and Bamford thing for me, where I immediately fell in love with them when they joined the club. And then we had various bits of malarkey that made it not work. But yeah, what I'll do actually is we will go a little bit more interactive on this one. We will do a poll. Oh, they've changed the interface for the polls. That is the weirdest thing I've noticed. Who plays at 10? I'll give you 3 choices. I will go Ritter, I'll go Nonto, and I will also add a nice little Piru option in there, in case anyone's feeling it. Although if you pick Piru, I'm not going to put him in the thing. Complete honesty for you. Transparency, as always. I will effectively be adding a vote for Ritter because I can't vote in these polls, but I would vote for Ritter. I think he's been poorly treated overall, but never treated as badly. I think he's not technically the best, but he gives 100% all the time in these games. Heart matters more. Yeah, that's why I had a little bit of a confusion when it came to the grey point. Because I really want him in that side. Because he's Leeds through and through. You know he'll give everything. But you've still got that question going, haven't you? Of is he the better midfielder than Kamara? So I'll ask a little question later on of what is Gray's role. Love that at the moment we're still vibing in that like pre-recording section. I'll do that there. I'll change that heading to the 10 discussion. And I will also do a banner for Willie Nonto. Fun fact, by the way, once, until I got YouTube to review it, one of my videos got partially demonetized or put under review because I had the word Willie in the description because Willie Nonto, which feels unfair, I'd say, but that's fine. Joe had to get it out there. Avoid Malibon Hotel, single malt club with tap water, £51 just in case Leeds get to Wembley. Andy, I don't drink. This ain't a problem for me. And then we have the number 9 chat. Then we have the Joseph or Peru discussion. Okay, so the chat for who plays at number 10 has ended with Georgie Ruta, which is fair. So I'll pop that poll close now. Would you drop Firpo for the second leg? I feel like he's out of position too much. I don't. Purely because his position isn't straight left back, if that makes sense. His position is the sort of box-to-box left-back job. He's more of a wing-back than a full-back, which means that when he's higher up the pitch, it's because he's been told to bomb on and get stuff done. Because in those situations, you have a Gruev or a Kamara to drop with a centre-back coming over to deal with that problem. So in those cases, it's a question of, is it Firpo out of position? Or is it the midfield not covering? Firpo doesn't have a position, he's a free spirit. To be fair, Junior Firpo is our one player in the last match who put the ball in the back of the net. Just saying. Just saying. I think Firpo's been one of our most creative players recently, so from that perspective, I wouldn't drop him. Yeah, it works. But what happens when they don't come across to fill the position? Then, in that case, that's still them being out of position, not Firpo, because Firpo has been told to be... I love that you're getting on board. Because Firpo has gone where he's been told to go. That's not Firpo being in the wrong place. That's more a case of the people that meant to fill in not filling in. Because that's them being out of position instead. If that all makes sense, I hope that makes sense, because if not, confusion. And then we have the other bit of conversation to be had. The number 9. Is it Peru? Is it Joseph? I want to go Joseph. Only because JT. Yeah, that's fair. Although, his balls knowledge, questionable. Questionable at points. On the subject, by the way, of balls knowledge, if anyone in the chat happens to have Twitter and happens to want to do me a hand, give me a hand. Or do me a favour, not do me a hand. There is someone that I'm trying to get as a guest. Ellis Platten, known as Away Days to some. Big old Leeds fan. In Leeds tomorrow for the match. But odds are I won't bump into him to ask him. So I've tweeted it. If you guys could do a cheeky little retweety, a little sherry, that'd be fantastic. I don't know if that's even clickable because that might have come through as a wrong link. But if anyone could do that, that would be absolutely fantastic, just because we're trying to get that sorted. So I've popped that in the comments now. Thank you. Don't know. I can't believe you're knowing charity. That's horrible. How dare you? Monster. Right. Number 9. I'll phrase it as the better option is Mateo Joseph. Okay, so that is who you guys want to pick for the number 9. Who do you think Farke picks as a 9? Peru or Joseph? For anyone that's just popping in, by the way, 1, welcome. 2, pop a like on the stream. It's quite nice of you. 3, we already did a poll and landed on, well, not a poll, but we had a chat about it and landed on the 4-2-3-1 rather than the 4-3-3, which simplifies things a little bit. That's the issue with thinking Farke picks the Peru. I like that you're saying you're glad that no one's beaten Evie. Do you not remember that we've scripted someone beating Evie at some point? Morning, groan. Sorry. There we go. The most likely is looking like Peru. Cool. Trying to get who? That would be Away Days, or known as Ellis Platten, who is a big ol' YouTuber. 300k subs, does stuff all over the world in terms of football content, but at the same time is a big old Leeds fan, which makes him, I think, the perfect guy to have an attitude. Joe Dave LUFC does a weekly quiz. Have you asked Dave for an invite? Not quite yet. He's on the list of people I'm going to be getting to, because there's a fair few of those, including stats at some point soon. Right, okay, so we're saying it's probably going to be Peru, aren't we? Yeah. Okay. Outside of that, is there anything surprising that you would do? I'd put return Somerville on the bench. I would have done that ages ago. If not winning, hopefully they can do something in the last 30 minutes, plus play Joseph. Remember, the last 30 could be extra time, so another. Put Dan James up front for all time's sake. I've asked Lockie a couple of times and he's never been about, which is a little bit annoying. But, yeah. I thought you said you didn't want anyone to beat Evie either, because I think Lockie and Andrea are the two that would beat Evie, if anyone is going to. Did you start Connor Roberts? I'll get to that when I actually do the recording, you bet. Haha! I doubt it. I don't think you've seen enough of Andrea. Because Andrea is a machine. We know this. Hello. You popping in just to make sure we're doing okay in here? He is the best boy. And we love him. Can we have a hashtag Team Arlo in the chat? And if there's enough Team Arlo, then you can say hello to Arlo. Hello, buddy. Yes, you're so good. Yes. Oh. I mean, we're at 2. I don't know if that'll do it. Why are you sniffing a bag? There's nothing in there. Oh, he's so stupid. No, but buddy. No, you can't walk away when I'm trying to get you to say hello to people. What I can do, though... Aha. You want a little bit of a treat? Yeah? Oh, you're so good. You're so good, and you're so stupid, and you're so easily tricked. Harlow, no, Arlo. A-R-L-O. Yes, hello. You're so good. And I might record a third video, just in case. But I don't know whether I do that on stream or not. I'm going to need your guys' opinion on that one. Because there's a thing that fixes it. No. Fine. What time is it in Leeds? I don't know. I'm not in Leeds. It's in Blackpool. It's 10:26. So there. Okay, so I am going to do what I do when I do any recording with people, because in essence, you, the chat, are the guest for this. So we'll do a Leeds versus Norwich. I'll do a nice little bit of an intro. We'll talk about Leeds' best lineup, and then I'll say, but first, do a subscribe. And if you're in the chat right now and you're not subscribed, I'm going to be really sad. Blackpool ain't been since I was a kid. You've not missed much. And then we'll hop into the formation. We'll ask if we pack the midfield again, or do we go more aggressive? I think the chat generally said that we go on the more aggressive side. So 4-2-3-1, back to the usual. Then we'll go through goalkeeper, we'll go through defence, we'll go through midfield, we'll go through the attacking unit before finally talking about the number 9. Then what do you think? At the attacking unit and the midfield and the defence sections, and the number 9 section, obviously, I will do like sections where I'm like talking to the comments a little bit, just to get a little bit more interactive, which would be quite nice. And yeah, that should be quite good. So, if we're down for that, I'm going to get recording in a moment, which means I'm going to have to make the music go away, just in case YouTube gets a little bit grumpy. Got a friend from Blackpool who keeps saying he's from near Manchester. What? He's not from near Manchester. He's from Blackpool, which is a good distance away. Right, so going to get recording in a second, which means I'm going to go quiet for a moment. And yeah, at the same time, Evie, I don't have to do the thing that looks really embarrassing when I have to do it at the start of recording, so... Oh, in fact, I've not got any paper. I need to note down the time that I'm starting recording this video. It's... Right, so it'd be about 26 minutes. Is video 1. It is. It's when I go test words, test words. But normally I have to do like a bit where I'm like, is the volume good? So I'll just do like loud bits. But I currently know that it works completely fine. So deal with it. Ha. Right. So. Leeds United are set to face off against Norwich City in the second leg of the EFL Championship playoffs at Elland Road tomorrow And let's be honest, the Whites need a result. If we go to the playoffs and it comes out as penalties, I can imagine everyone simultaneously pooing themselves. Not a good thing to do, and that means we need to get the tactics right, and in order to get the tactics right, you need the right people on the pitch, and you need a perfect lineup. So, in this video, we are going to talk about what Leeds United's best lineup is for this situation, and I'm recording this live, so I have a little bit of chat assistance, and I've had a little bit of chat assistance in the build-up. If you see me live, hop along, be massively appreciated, and subscribe whilst you're at it. Cheers. Diving into it, first thing that we need to talk about is the formation, because the formation changed a little bit, sort of, in the first leg against Norwich. Now, there's a little bit of conversation of if it was still a 4-2-3-1, but I think relatively we packed the midfield out a little bit. Archie Gray, whilst he did play as a 10, still had more of a capacity to drop all the way deeper, which, brilliant, fantastic, meant that we had more people in midfield. But there is still a conversation around whether or not that causes us a little bit of a problem up top. If you only have Georgie at the top, and it's a little bit harder to create chances for people because Georgie is your chance creator and you're relying on the midfielder going past or the wingers doing their thing and not just getting ground down a little bit. So, do we go a little bit more aggressive? Do we go back to the 4-2-3-1? And in my opinion, that's what we will land at. We will go to a 4-2-3-1. We will go back to the usual, which has worked for the most part this season. It worked twice against Norwich, so it might today. I feel like last week was a case of don't lose, which is completely fair enough. But now we're in a situation of we need to win the game of football, which I feel like we will. First choice in terms of the lineup itself needs to be the goalkeeper, and I think it's pretty common sense. As much as people don't like his distribution as of late, it still needs to be Illan Meslier, because look at our options at the back. You've got Illan Meslier, who has played for an entire season. You have Carl Darlow, who played for 2-3 matches, maybe, and conceded a hell of a lot more per 90 than he should have. And you've got Christopher Clausen, who people will say kept clean sheets. He's not conceded a single shot on target for Leeds, or he's conceded like 1 or 2. He's not been tested well enough. It needs to be Illan Meslier in goal, and defending him is where there's a little bit more of a conversation to be had. So at right back, I'm going to say my choice would be Connor Roberts. Purely because of that width, that directness that he brings. You could see when Dan James came on against Norwich in the first leg, we were a lot more direct and we had a lot more luck when we were going forwards. That's something that I feel like we should really be looking to replicate in this game. There is a little bit of a shout for Sam Byram, purely because he's defensively a little bit more solid, and you could see his insane work rate when it came down to dealing with their attacks, because occasionally you get caught up out of position, but he'd race back and deal with it. Brilliant. But at the same time, I still feel like Connor Roberts is the choice here, although I feel like the chat might have something to say about that in a moment. At centre-back, I'm going with Joe Rodon, of course. Absolute rock at the back with Ethan Ampadu. Works very effectively, that duo. They have been perfectly good throughout the season so far. Left back, I'm going with Junior Firpo. Whilst there has been a little bit of conversation about does he occasionally get caught out of position, I think he's just an attacking left back. That's what happens. It just makes a little bit of sense. Yes, the being caught out of position could be a problem, but that's where the midfield gets to cover. And that's why we have centre-backs, and it'll be fine, I think. Let's roll with it. It'll all be good. As the chat says, Senior Firpo. At the same time, we have Andy saying that if Leeds got a Pensbull, Farke, Meslier for Klassen, I don't think that would be a good idea, purely because you get the issue of what happens when you sub on a striker for penalties. You get the Sancho and Rashford issue where they've not touched a ball for an entire game, they're not warm, and then suddenly you're relying on them, which would be daft, I think. That is just a speed-running way to, 1, kill the morale of your goalkeeper, and 2, have a completely raw player in that isn't necessarily going to be able to do the job. In front of the defence, you need to talk about the midfield. And the midfield is where you have a lot of big questions to discuss. because we've got a lot of good midfielders. And if I'm not starting Archie Gray, does he go into the midfield? What is Gray's role? In this instance, it gets a little bit complicated. It gets very complicated. You get into the place of, as much as I love Archie, I don't think he's the best player for this midfield, because what we need to do is we need to be retaining possession throughout the game. We need to be in a position where we're keeping the ball and able to create threats with it. And I think Glenn Kamara is the better option for that. I think Glenn Kamara is better at receiving the ball, taking a moment and finding a pass that makes sense, whereas Archie is more direct, a little bit more box-to-boxy. And whilst I did say I like the directness from Connor Roberts, it's a little bit different when you come to the midfielders, because the midfielders are where you control the game and you don't want to give away control. And for the same reason, I've gone with Ilya Gruev, because Ilya Gruev is that defensive midfielder, and whilst he's not necessarily been on the best of form, he can still do that job. He can still throw in a tactical foul from time to time, because sometimes that's what you need. He's someone that is like that staunch, kicky presence in the midfield, and in a playoff match that could get very, very tough, I feel like Ilya Gruev is the perfect choice. To me, it makes sense. Someone's made a very, very good point in the comments on Archie's role in this side. Gray off the bench in the 10 if Ruter is off it. That works fine. Gray in the 10 works perfectly well in the first leg. It could work perfectly well in the second leg. So maybe we give that a go. Who knows? Going on a little bit further on, we need to talk about the attacking unit. In this case, I'm talking about your attacking midfielders, because we will get to that whole number 9 conversation in a couple of minutes. And obviously, you need to start with Crescencio Somerville. That just makes sense. Now, you got a little bit of a discussion over the number 10. Cree is in there because he can just do a little bit of devastation from time to time. He can get a ball and just make chaos happen, which is really nice. Very fun. And that's where the 10 discussion comes in, because I feel like that's the same sort of player that Jorginho Ruter is. I feel like Georgie is also the kind of guy that can just, at any point in a game, receive the ball and create a stunning chance. And that hasn't necessarily happened recently, but it's also not happened for Cree. So it's a little bit of a conversation that needs to be had. I feel like, and I did a little bit of a poll here in the chat, where the discussion was between Georgie and Nonto. And there was a little bit of Piru, but one person voted for Piru, so that's not the chat. In this instance, the chat basically voted for Ruter over Nonto. And I think I agree. Because Willie is good. Willie is a very dribbly boy. However, I think we've not seen enough of him in the 10 to say that he would be able to do that specific job in this specific game. So I'd be a little bit of an optimist and say that Jorginho is probably the choice. In addition to that, on the wing, we have another conversation to be had between Willie and Dan James. In this specific instance, I think I'd go with Dan James. Just because when he came on against Norwich in that most recent game, his directness was an immediate threat. He was the reason that I've put Connor Roberts in the side, and he's also an incredible shithouse. And we saw what happened when there's a little bit of shithousery down Willie Nonto's flank in the most recent match. And what happens when there's shithousery down his flank is he gets booked. Whereas whereas Dan James gets annoying to the other team, which is brilliant. That's what you need in a playoff final. You need someone that can do that, someone that can get on their nerves. So I think Dan James is the perfect option there. And this is a fair point, though. Colin thinks that Farke will start Nonto. I also think the same, but I think that more from a fitness perspective. I've said Dan James because I personally believe that Dan James is the better option. I did note how late he came on in the first leg. Jan Dames, indeed. I noted how late he came on in the first leg, which tells me that he might not be 100% yet. And that tells me that Farke might not risk it. But on the subject of risking things, we need to talk about the number 9 conversation. And I believe in this instance, there is a better option and there is a more likely option. The better option, voted for by the chat. I will just find the specific numbers. 81% of the chat were of the opinion that Mateo Joseph should be starting in the number 9. And I agree. I think Mateo Joseph is comfortably the better option because he's just more of a 9. He plays in those more advanced positions. He has far closer shots than Joel Piroux does. There's a stat on FBref that is the average distance of a shot. And if I remember right, Pirou's is something like 16 yards or something like that. Joseph's is 7. He's far closer when he's taking shots, and that is absolutely what we need to happen. But at the same time, I did a poll asking who do you think Farke picks as the 9, and the more likely option looked like Joel Piroux. Just because, as I've been saying for a while, it'll be the not wanting to put such a young player under so much pressure issue. Which I understand, but it doesn't make me hyper confident. But with all that in mind, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below what you think, because goddamn, we will have to find out. Subscribe if you're not yet. Like the video if you enjoyed. Like the stream if you're still currently here. And I'll keep the video going for another couple of minutes whilst I go through a couple of little comments and chats. And then we'll go into the second recording of the session. This is what you're missing if you're watching on YouTube after the fact. And we'll dive into that. First question is, did you get your Leeds ticket then? I did indeed. The issue is, when it comes to getting trains, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. So train there is, I'm arriving at something like 4 p.m. My brother's picking me up after work, and we're basically heading straight down to Elland Road because we both like being there fairly early. And then afterwards, I'm getting a train back at something like 8 a.m. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be an adventure because I've got a work shift to deal with on Friday, which isn't great. Joseph 9, Piroux 10, whichever is worst after 60, if not winning, comes off for Ruter, who plays in the 10. Kind of makes sense. Kind of like it. Yeah. That works. It was a harsh booking on Willie. Should have had a free kick for penalty shout. Was okay. Willie gives him a shove, but he dives, books Willie for a clap. Willie was easily the best of the front four. That's true. But no matter what happens, if you sarcastically applaud a referee, you're going to get booked. It doesn't matter what's happened before. You're not changing their mind. All you do with that sarcastic round of applause is get yourself in trouble. Which is kind of on you. I've driven you, to be honest, just enough. I completely blanked on that. I'll be completely straight. And I basically booked the train tickets yesterday. And I'm a Yorkshireman. And I don't like wasting money. But at some point in the future. The ref sarcastically clapped back, which, to be honest, was funny. I don't know if that was a sarcastic clapback more than it was going, yeah, that's why I booked you. If that all makes sense. But yeah, if you're on the YouTube video, it's probably going to cut off now. So, hope you enjoyed. See you later. And then we get into the second of the videos. That one ends at about 40 minutes. Which is Fan Dabby Dozy. Salute. Yeah, we did the salute. I was going to ask next time, do like an 07 in the chat because that looks like a salute. So, video number 2. Video number coming out tomorrow. So if anything, you guys are getting a sneaky little picky insight. That'd be nice. Okay, I need to find a specific emoji, and I hate when Facebook does its emoji searchy thing because it's so bad. Sorry, I'm getting spammed by work stuff because I've got like 4 hours of meetings later. I enjoy being part of filming. That's why I do these streams. It's a little bit of cheeky behind the scenesy. Very nice. Emoji search sometimes takes forever to load them up. Absolutely. I don't know why it's not just like cached, but who knows. I'd rather James play, even though Nonto is the best player. Petulant Sword's a referee can get you sent off. Yeah, and that's what we don't need. Plus, if Nonto gets booked in this leg, I think he'll be suspended for a playoff final if we get there. Which is, again, not what you need. But yeah. It'd be a tough spot to be in to say we've got an Italy international in our squad, but we can't play him. At that point, things start to look a little bit pointless. Man City goalkeeper should be sold after getting angry. What? I've missed this. I've missed whatever is being discussed here. In fact, what we're going to do for the second video, we're going to do a costume change. I know, it's wild. We're going to go into the Blackout YEP kit. What a banger. Love it. Very nice. I love a Blackout kit. Might have to do one in the FM save. Maybe it's like our Champions League away kit or something daft like that. Although for the FM save, I was going to do like makes it look like a new day. Exactly. That's why I've done it. He's an angry child. I mean, I think he's an angry 30-something-year-old, but I can see your point. Right. So, if I was the manager, I'd tell him to never come back, find a new club. I think it's fairly difficult to do that when you've got one of the best goalkeepers on the planet. Right, Leeds, Norwich, preview. Gosh, he's not the best. No, he's one of them. He's in the conversation. Right, okay. So, the biggest match of the season. I think that's a nice way of introducing it. Right. Does it work if I screen share the screen that's here? I don't know. Right, so, important question for you guys. And this is going to be a biggie. 1, can you put in the chat if there are any things that you specifically want talking about in the preview? 2, I am going to start a Q&A. And I'm going to call it Questions for the Norwich match. If you've got any questions, pop them in the little Q&A thing that I've just done, because this has never worked for me. I thought you were going Partridge mode preview. How do you mean Partridge mode? Stop calling me Alan Partridge. It's all I get. Pain. Right. I want your little predictions banner thing you do. Predictions banner thing? What do you mean? The video thing you made. What video thing? I've genuinely got no idea. Sort of question. Somerville's been off the boil since before the international break. Do you agree? And should he start? He's been off the boil, but at the same time, Somerville off the boil is an issue of has he set expectations way too high for himself, because he's still really good. You wouldn't play Somerville that feels a bit daft. You wouldn't play the Championship player of the season because he's been off form for a few weeks. He's been stupid not passing the ball. But the thing is, in the first half of the season, he was stupid not passing the ball. It's just that time it worked. His style hasn't changed. He's the same Crescencio Somerville. Should we take pressure off Ilan just by telling him to launch it to the 9 instead of 1-2s? No. Because there's a reason, in my opinion, that the old 4-4-2 malarkey doesn't happen that often anymore. He holds the word preview, makes them seem twice as long. It's a good trait, Joe, makes you more endearing. How do you mean holds the words preview? Why do you think we've regressed from how we've been playing? Is it purely to keep the ball? If Bamford was able to start, we would be able to have Ilan be able to huff it up to Patrick Bamford. Yeah, Bamford's reasonably good at making the ball stick. And even if he doesn't win the first ball, the pressure he puts on for the second ball is great. But we don't necessarily get that from the others. Bamford won't ever be playing again in the Premier League. I'm not having that conversation again. Also, I've had a fun idea. A very fun idea. Can you, in the chat, pop your predictions for me? Because I've got a fun idea. I think it's a fun idea at the very least. And this is specifically a score prediction. Like just numbers. Straight up numbers. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a big old banner. I'm not going to do 120 that will have username and score prediction on it. Scrolling across the bottom as a ticker. So I'll do chat predictions. So for example, why doesn't the owner get a proper striker that scores week in, week out with their money? What? So, for example, Baby Zebra with a 2-1. I'm guessing you mean to Leeds because Leeds being the home team. And then I will add that banner, run the banner, and there we go. We can just add people's predictions, which would be quite nice. Do that as we go. And then just keep that running. So if anyone fancies it, go for it. And then afterwards, we'll do a cheeky little call out to whoever gets it right. J Racer, I'm going to suggest not saying 2-1. Purely because imagine if you have to share the count out, shout out with Baby Zebra. Andy predicted a 3-1. Excuse you, full names, please. I mean, I'm limited on characters here. Oh, wait, no, I've got 1,000. Okay, that's good. Is that a bad thing? Oh, it can be. 3-1. No, in fact, yeah, sod it. Just go with whatever prediction you feel like. J Racer has a nice little 2-1. Kevin has a nice little 2-0. You see, this way I can hold you guys to account if you get things as bad as I do. Which is even funnier than if it's just me getting things wrong. Let's increase the spacing just to make things a little bit easier. Partridge is a Norwich fan. Stop relating me to Alan Partridge. Devastating. Slinker for Slink. Wants to say 2-0 to Leeds. And you know what? You can say 2-0 to Leeds. Born to Lose 73 says 3-1 Leeds. Right, any more predictions from absolutely anybody? And we can go for it. Have you done your family tree? No, then handle it. I mean, I have a family tree. My granddad, before he passed away, did one. Yeah, you didn't think I'd go there, did you? It is like 99% various bits of Yorkshire. But anyone get any more score predictions in, and we will be absolutely balling. KG says Leeds lose on pens. It's feasible. But at the same time, I don't really want it to be. Oh, that's a fun thing to read. I love reading things about the bloody war in Ukraine. Great fun. You don't sound like a Yorkshireman. I mean, I think I've been through this. But basically, what happened was when I was younger, because the entire rest of my family, strong Yorkshire accent. Me, no. That's because when I was younger, I was bullied a fair bit. When I went to uni, I was like, right, that version of me got bullied lots, and I got entirely in my head, and like the accent just dropped instantly as like a subconscious shit. Let's pull things back to not being bullied, kind of stuff. But that's a really fun conversation that I don't want to have right now, if that's okay. Do we have any more predictions from the chat? We have Baby Zebra Game saying 2-1. Andy all leads, aren't we, saying 3-1. J Racer 2-1. Kevin Otto 2-0. Slink at the Sink. Is that Slink? That should be Slink. Says 2-0. Born to Lose says 3-1. What I would quite like to see. Andy, have you got a prediction? That's not the one that I'd like to see. What I would like to see is Evie being forced to be positive. Because everyone else has predicted a Leeds win of some form. Some form. So I kind of want to see if she follows in that sort of direction. Watch Long Leeds says 2-1. No one's predicted a loss yet, which a little bit surprising considering how negative this fan base can be a lot of the time. But I like that. Andy Rowe says 4-1 Leeds. If it's 4-1 Leeds, I will lose my tiny mind. Because the seats that I've got directly in front of the away fans. Oh boy, that's going to be an adventure. First time I've been in those as well. No, it's not. I was in those at some point earlier in the season. Can't remember. Did you put Collins in there? I did. Yes, I did that just now. So the current list of predictions is as follows. I don't fear Norwich Southampton scare me. Southampton are the one that I don't want us to have to deal with. Could really do with a West Brom win. What time is the presser today? I didn't know there was a presser today, but I can have a look for you. Because typically it's 2 days. Thank you, what's up? It's 2 days before the match. In this case, I don't know. Because it wasn't yesterday. And I don't know if there's one scheduled. There isn't. So it'll be the case of we just chat to the media after the first match. So yeah. Last call. I'll say 2 minutes before I start scripting the rest of the thing. So pop your predictions in now, and that'll be very, very nice. Tell us about your proposed driving stream. I don't know if that's going to happen now. I'm not entirely certain, because I wasn't expecting to get inundated with like 17 meetings. Thought it was today as we play Thursday. Normally it's 2 days before, which would have made it yesterday. It's not scheduled for today, at least not yet. So, I mean, we'll find out. We'll have to see. What? Okay, I'll make a deal. If we get to the playoff final, I'll do a driving stream for it. That's the deal I'm willing to make. If we do get to the playoff final, fantastic. We'll do that one. Need to finish the Boulder one too. That one, I very deliberately delayed once it looked like we were getting in the playoffs. Evie, you can't be that vague. You gotta name a team. You gotta name a team. Also, would you like putting down as Evie Holmes O'Brien, or Discourse of Peacocks? Ellen drove to Wembley via the Nürburgring with a pit stop at Lox's. Maybe, yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh, you know when you get a really bad idea? It might be the iRacing 24 hours of the Nürburgring this weekend. That's a bad idea. That's an idea I'm not doing. No. I've got work this weekend. I can't do that. No, I literally can't. Like, I would need someone else to drive stints with me. It's a race that you literally cannot solo if you can't be there for a bit. Do it for charity. Leads to win last minute. Discourse of Peacocks, please. Discourse of Peacocks, please. Does that mean that we've got content on the way, Evie? I'm genuinely pumped. Because with the takes that you have, you absolutely cook. A lot of the time. And I feel like it's time to cook. How about Le Mans instead of the Nürburgring? You see, the maybe is what I want to say. I don't like Le Sarthe as much as I do the Nürburgring. Don't cook the Peacock, though. Wouldn't recommend. It depends. If we lose on penalties, I feel like the Peacock could be burned. Doing a season review after it's all done fills the space once the emotions have died down. I like that idea. That's a very good idea. Shit, why didn't I have that idea? Damn it. Damn it, Evie. Right, so we will go predicted lineup. And then we'll just do a very quick speed run of the most recent video, which will be Melier, Roberts, Ampadu, Rodon. It'll be Junior Fairpair. Ilya Groof, Glenn Kamara, Somerville, Rossett, James, and as it's a predicted lineup rather than a preferred lineup, we're going to say Peru. How Norwich will play. Odds are they'll be fairly passive. Trying to hit on the transition. Thanks, Kevin. No idea how I'm still top. I had a really fun idea for the quiz. Imagine if we do something like you versus Joe. If Joe wins, you swap scores. And you can have another go if you want. But that puts it on the line. That really tests how well you think you can do. Sergeant will be key again, because of course he will. What? No way, because we know the outcome of that quiz. But do we? Because we could do you versus Joe, you win, and then we've got a sort of condolences prize. No, Joe. I think it's a great idea. I think you guys with the quiz series have put me in a position of power that I should have never held. Because you know what you've given me? Emotional investment. And that's how you create the drama, baby. Loser wears a wig or a bowl cut. That's a shout. I mean, it doesn't affect Joe in the slightest. But Baby Zebra and I have the spanner of power. Yeah, but I can remove the spanner of power. It's fine. It's my spanner. Right, Sergeant will be key again. How else will Norwich play? Is there anything that I missed in that last match? That's the thing, I don't know. Because I missed it. Where are Norwich weak? Far away from home, and has anyone else picked anything up from Norwich where they thought Norwich are really bad in this specific area? Relying on a few players. Yes, it does. Joe wears the wig. Oh, right. Okay, I get you. I thought you were nice, Joe. I am nice. Do you have your camera set to follow you, or am I imagining the camera moving a little? Right. What it is I've got like a mount, but the mount like wibbles a bit. So I mean, it's not meant to follow me, unless that's a feature that I'm not aware of. Yeah, I think it's just general like shake. Norwich tire easier. Thank you very much. I'll call it lower fitness levels. The defence are old. That's a very good point. Which is where I've gone with relative lack of backline pace. How Leeds need to play. We'll go direct attacking football. Plenty of variety in attack. Focus on structured defending. Worst thing about Norwich was most of their fans having 6 fingers on each hand. Yeah, it makes basketball tricky, but thankfully it doesn't affect football too much. Don't be scared of making changes. What I'm going to say as well. Predictions. Any idea how Sargent's doing now? Immediately following the match, Wagner came out and said that he would probably be fine. He's not so far, that doesn't fill me with confidence. Look, the difference between me as a chatter and me as a mod is, in one case, I've got, like, responsibility. And that ADHD people pleaser, oh, I've got to fulfill those responsibilities. I just took a shift on that I wasn't meant to have for Saturday because they were like, yeah, we might need someone. And I was like, I don't want to let the team down. So, yeah. Right. Anyway, I'm going to get recording in a grand total of 20 seconds. And I don't need to do the testy words, which is really nice. Because I've been speaking anyway. Leeds United are set for their biggest match of the season, and I don't think it's even close. Unless things go well. Then there'll be a bigger one. The playoff semi-final comes to Elland Road, and the Whites need to take on Norwich and need a victory tonight. It is a very, very high-pressure game. But what can we expect from it? There's some pretty big questions around this match, and I'm going to try and answer them. But first, come say hello. And this is specifically about the match tonight. I'll be in the West Stand under the away fans somewhere on like row F or something daft like that. If you're near there and you spot me, say hi. Could be quite nice. Also subscribe. Massively appreciated. So, diving into it, first we need to start with the predicted lineup. If I start talking to chat at any point, by the way, I've recorded this yesterday and I'm doing it on a live stream, so you should have come and said hi yesterday, to be honest with you. Predicted lineup I did in a video yesterday. If you've not seen that yet, go back and have a look. But in essence, me and the chat landed on Ilan Meslier in goal, Connor Roberts at right back with Ampadu and Rodon at centre back, Junior Firpo on the left, Gruev and Kamara as a nice solid midfield that hopefully won't let too many chances through them, Crescencio Somerville, Jorginho Rutter and Dan James as your forward line, because Dan James is a bit more direct and less likely to get himself booked, with the chat saying that they would prefer Mateo Joseph, but believe that Farke is more likely to pick Joel Piroux. Now, diving into it, how will Norwich play? I think they'll play a little bit similar to they did in the first match. I think they will be relatively on the passive side because that just sort of works for them. Throughout the season so far, David Wagner, when he's been playing against the larger sides, has gone for one of two options. He's gone for the direct, constant attack, aggression mode, or he's gone passive. And in the last match, he went with the sort of relatively direct, he presses a little bit option. But when you're playing a game at home, you're expected to be the more aggressive of the sides. The fact that he wasn't super aggressive at home means that I'm almost certain that he won't do that away from home. I think they will play relatively passive, sit deep, and try and hit us on the transition. And because of that, Josh Sargent will be absolutely key. I think he's supposed to be fit for this game, which isn't good for us. But who knows, maybe we can kick him again. In addition to that, Gabriel Sara will be absolutely huge for them, as will John Rowe. And have a very quick look at the chat. Kevin, the match is tomorrow for us, but it will be tonight at the time that the video comes out. An encouraging stat is Norwich are 19th in the league for away form. I'm going to get onto that because we are about to talk all about where are Norwich weak. And one of them is the fact that they are poor away from home. For the past few days, I've been talking a little bit about my Norwich fan co-worker, who is feeling very pessimistic and was feeling incredibly pessimistic and said that they might as well not play after the game on Sunday afternoon when he learned that they would be going into an away tie needing a win. That's how bad they are away from home. They feel like they've not got much of a hope going on. In addition to that, they have a relative lack of backline pace, which we can absolutely exploit with the likes of Dan James, Crescencio Somerville. It's an aging defence, and it's one that we can look to really get at in this game if we are aggressive enough. Add on to the fact that they're reliant on a few players, Gabriel Sara, Nunez a little bit. Josh Sargent, as I've mentioned, if he's not fit, that could be a big problem for them. John Rowe, another reliant player. If we're able to shut those down, we could be absolutely fine. And add on to that, they have significantly lower fitness levels than we do. And that means as the game goes on, as it develops and becomes more and more of a grueling match and everyone is throwing everything they've got at this game, I think we'll have more in the tank than they do. And we know how important that can be. We saw that under Jesse Marsh when the fitness levels just dropped. Because we kept losing games. Because we would go to the 70th minute and lose. Because we didn't have the legs anymore. However, I think in this game it could be the other way around. But we will need to find out. But how do Leeds need to play? This is a really big question. This is a really, really big, important question. Because if you are setting things out in the right way... Sorry, I'm just going to very quickly reply to a thing. Sorry about that. Leeds United playing in the right way will effectively guarantee as a result. So, for example, I think playing a more direct attacking style of football would be great. The amount of times we've held the ball because we've been in a leading position is wonderful. That means that we are in a brilliant position to take all 3 points because we take control of games really effectively. That's not what we need in this game. What we need is a direct form of attacking football that really makes their backline think, makes them work, and puts them under a hell of a lot of pressure. And we can do that. In addition to that, we need a lot of variety in attack. We can't just give it to Somerville, hope he'll cut in on his right foot and have a shot, because that doesn't always work. We need to make use of that right wing. We need to use Dan James. We need the occasional run from a midfielder looking to go box to box and cause problems, because the more variance we have, the more we can surprise that back line. And the more of a chance we have of winning this game. At the other end of the pitch, we need to focus on some very, very structured defending. The only times that we had any significant threats in the most recent match, and I'm just going to very quickly double check this just to make sure that everything is completely fine. The issues we had in the last match came primarily from the fact that we didn't really have structure in those moments. It was a case of there'd be space behind Sam Byram, he'd run back and make a last-ditch challenge, and brilliant, then we're fine. Or it would be a case of ball in behind Junior Firpo because he's pushed up, they've hit us on the counter, but it's been dealt with. The real danger here comes with what happens if that's not dealt with. So if we keep our structure, if we keep at least one of those midfielders in a holding role, then we can bomb on with the fullbacks with a little bit of stability. A nice little foundation that'll work out. Add on to that, we don't be scared of making changes. If it's the 60th minute and it's 0-0 and there's clearly something structurally wrong with the team, then you make the changes. Then you say, okay, if we've started Nonto, bring on Dan James because he has that direct form of football. If the number 10 isn't working out, okay, fantastic, Archie Gray. If Piru isn't doing his job in the 9, bring on Mateo Joseph, because this is the game where every minute matters more than any other minute in the season before. Because any minute you can score that goal that makes the difference. And on the way that we need to play, I fully agree with Kevin in the chat here. We need to press them more than a hot iron because we put the ball in the back of the net on Sunday. It wasn't a goal because there was an offside in the build-up, but Junior Firpo was able to slide the ball home because we pressed them high, because we got the ball in a transitional moment and were able to turn them over. That's why I don't think they'll come out so much. I don't think they'll press. I don't think they'll push us too hard because of the transitional moments, because they don't want us to be able to do that. So what are my predictions for the match? I think it all comes down to that first goal. As was said by Jim Howson, we need to score early, because we score early, they have to play football. And if that happens, there's more opportunities for those transitions, and we get more and more chances to score that goal, to get those, not 3 points, to get that place at Wembley. If we score that first goal, I think we go through. I think we have plenty of quality here as well. I think if we go aggressive from the start, look to score that first goal, we've got the quality to turn it into a win, and I am going to predict a 2-0 win, but I will admit I am scared. But I'm optimistic. You know me, you always get a little bit of optimism sprinkled in there. So I'm going to go with 2-0 Leeds. As you have seen along the bottom for the entirety of this video, the live chat has been making their predictions for the match so far. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Join them. Hopefully it's a Leeds United win. That would be absolutely fantastic. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the lineup and everything else as well. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you aren't yet. That was always massively appreciated. Could even become a channel member. All of the channel membership revenue and super chats in live streams and all that kind of stuff is going to Prostate Cancer UK at the moment, which is a really important cause for me. I'll be doing an announcement based on that after Leeds United season is done. I don't know whether that will be at the weekend because things have gone wrong, or after a nice little trip to Wembley, but we'll find out. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Pop an 07 in the chat if you want to salute to say see you later, actually. That'd be quite nice. I'll let my little salute. We've got a danker. Scooby, you've got it wrong. Also, thank you, Baby Zebra Games. That's massively appreciated, and we'll be going to Prostate Cancer UK. There we go. Cheeky little salute. Now I can end the video. See you later. Ta-ra. And that is the end of recording number 2. So, cheeky little bit of a hangout now, I think. Unless anyone thinks I have missed anything at any given point. That is for video 2. Or if you want to join in with the thumbnail making process, which is always fun, if you guys want to hop in. I'm going to bring predictions back, actually. So that is just cycling all the way through. I won't promise that you'll behave in my stream. I refuse. Sally, I'm not going yet. I'm prepping these videos for an upload. You want to see the thumbnail? Okie dokie. That's fine. That could make things a little bit complicated. I'll pop that there. I'll pop that there. What was I doing? You know when you were doing a thing and you completely Canva. There we go. Brilliant. Cool. How much are we saying that we care about the concept of copyright and copyright infringement? Because that's a big question in my opinion. I know, but I have to go and do some work. How dare you, Sally? How dare you be a functional member of our society? It's bloody rude. It's fine. It's all good. Right. So, elements. I've just realized I'm not showing my screen yet. Present. Share screen. Cool. Chrome tab. Untitled design. Bosh. Cool. Share. Bang. Is that sharing normal? Because it should be. Functional. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to stretch the truth. But that's okay. So, suggestions from the chat. Who would you want to see in the thumbnail if it's there to cause a little bit of intrigue? If it's there to make things a little bit, ooh, who's going to start for Leeds? We'll go something like huge lineup choices, a little bit of clickbaitiness. For some reason now my throat is going up more than it does in normal streams. Which is weird because normally I stream way longer than this. But then again, sometimes I'm able to let the music do its thing. Gelhart. Gelhart? Was not expecting Joffy. It's not the shout that I was seeing coming. Right, I've got to switch that to the other side. Why is that done that? There we go. Cool. Yeah, we'll do that. Post-stream voice is pain. You've done one stream. It was a good stream, but still. Right, let's bop that there. Let's bop that there. No one expects him to start. Great bit of clickbait. Would you dare accuse me of doing clickbait, is the question. I'd never do such a thing. Would you like a really funny issue that I've come up against in this case? There's sod all pictures of Joe Gelhart on Getty Images because he's not really played this season. And really, you want them in the right kit. Sorry, Getty Images. I'm not. I'm really not. Please clean up properly. Oh, that's horrific. That got worse. How did that got worse? Yep, sorry, Joffy. Not that one. Just one of them doing the prey, which usually retires Somerville, or... The thing is, I've not got any of those images ready. Perfect. Right, I found a Joffy. Because I can get rid of that Getty Images incredibly quickly. Issue is I like them going right to left. Right, let's erase that bloody thing, or I'm going to... Oh, that's worse. That got worse. I mean, I can just remove Joffy. Oh, that's annoying. Have you genuinely clipped me giving you a compliment? Because that's definitely something. Joffrey and Cresswell. Oh, you see, I like the Cresswell show. Because you've had more people... Okay, you're not Charlie. You are Charlie. Oh my god, is there going to be anything of him in a Leeds kit? That'll do. It's better than nothing. Okay. Shorten that up, because I don't want to have to deal with Getty Images being a prick again. Edit image, background remover, shorten that. Bosh. Surely just Stewie D then. No, because Stewie D has 0 chance of playing. At least Charlie Cresswell has like a 2% chance of playing. Do you have the fancy Canva or basic Canva? I got a fancy Canva. I figured if I'm doing this as like an actual thing, then I kind of need fancy Canva. All right, I think Georgie is up. Ignore this. This is on request. I think I need Georgie. Oh, hey, it's Evie. I like having a thinky Farke. If we ignore that image is from his Norwich days. So we'll do that. Then a cheeky little background remove. Fandabby-dozy. Have Evie in it. No, because Evie's not in the video. That'd be rude. I mean, to be fair, Cresswell's not in the video. But I do feel like there's this weird trend of there's a woman like moderately related to this thing. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put them in the thumbnail because football fans are mostly men, and men like women, and that's a trend that I've like seen lots of, and it feels a bit icky. It's like let the video be on its own like credit, if you get me. I think having Georgie is also a shout. Yeah, sod it. We'll put Evie in it. There we go. Bosh. Evie is the manager now. Not all men and some women. That's true, but rule of thumb, football men. Maybe chuck Ron Burgundy in there. Not the worst shout we've had. You've been promoted. Put JT for Popo, put Pookie in there, and you can use Joe Whitman. I like it. That's good. Right. Okay. So let's get rid of this little bit of grey. This little bit of grey is going to drive me insane. Timu Wayneman. Channels seem to get women on the channel just to get views. Not all the time. Because as someone that has had women on the channel, a lot of the time when I do so, it's because there's like a genuinely good reason. Because Evie, I have on the channel because I quite like Evie. I consider Evie a friend. And she knows a hell of a lot about football. All two of them. Right. Compare my all two of them to a lot of channels. It's not the worst. Evie's a genius, we like her. True. Crystal had on last week. Was it last week? But had her on because she is a 49ers fan. She's a 49ers journalist, which means that she is significantly more qualified than me when talking about her chosen subject. Actively works with me like all the time. And is in the process of attempting to become a Leeds fan. So that also works. When someone gets women on for clickbait reasons, you can normally tell. And like, thankfully, no one in the YouTube bubble that we're in really does that. But there's a lot of the time where, like, what I'll do sometimes is I'll just like look through other thumbnails and channels and stuff like that and think, okay, so what sort of trends are going on? What can I like look to like get on board with? How are we liking this for a thumbnail, by the way? Charlie looks like he shrunk in the wash. I see what you mean, and now you've said it, I don't like it from a design standpoint. But at the same time, I'm gonna have him a little bit smaller than Dan James just because it's funny. There is a little bit of me that says that looks wrong. But there's a slightly bigger bit of me that says Charlie Cresswell being shorter than Dan James and Crescencio Somerville is hilarious. So I'm going to download that one. 720p, Bosch. I'll do. I will upload that a little bit later. No, I wouldn't say pretty girls are a trend, but I would say that there is an ongoing thing on YouTube of chucking someone in like you'll see it in YouTube Shorts a hell of a lot of the time, where it's like scantily clad woman, and it's like, okay, so this was a video game short, and you've done that to try and draw people in, which I understand it from a numbers point of view, but doesn't make the most sense. If we want to be taking inspiration from Eric Bischoff, I'm going to start booking the quizzes like wrestling, and that's gonna go chaotic instantly, and I love it. It's a great idea. Fully back it. I love the height aspect, being vertically challenged myself. I'm all for empowering small people. Vertically challenged is a kind way of putting it. Is there going to be a finger poke of doom? Yeah, it's going to be when John Rowe fires the ball into his own net 4 times for us. That's going to be quite kind. Move to Twitch. It's safer. Safer how? How do you mean safer? Is YouTube unsafe? Hold on. I'm preferring that. Nice little like, oh, I'm in the corner stuff, just because otherwise I'm blending in with all the photos and that doesn't work for me. What was Evie's height again? Was it 3'1" or something like that? It was in that area. Right. What are we feeling for a title? I don't know if I'm feeling like a How Leeds win. Right, this is where I'm going to do a little bit of YouTube studioing. Adam Armstrong or Kyle Bartley in the final will be the ultimate finger poke of doom. Now you mentioned some possible scenarios. Evie definitely looks tall-ish. Even with my heels, baby zebra, I wouldn't be reaching 5'7". 3'2", Joe, you're on thin ice. But the good thing about the thin ice is that you couldn't reach me on the thin ice because you'd be in your heels trying to look like you're actually 5'2.5". And the heels would go through and you'd be in deep trouble. And being deep trouble, you wouldn't be able to reach the bottom. Don't do kick. Kick is bad. Kick is real bad. Yeah, kick is the sort of anything goes platform. That makes it not good for normal streamers. Evie, are you at the match tomorrow? Right. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, I'm fucking... Sorry, I'm just going to have a mental breakdown because YouTube deleted my description for JT's balls knowledge. That's why that didn't kick on. Everyone I speak to these days is 5'2", which is difficult in person as I'm 6'6". Yeah, you can't hear him down there, that's the problem. Now I'd be too nervous crying at the game, can't be crying in Elland Road. What about happy crying? That's always a show. I don't think we have a... Do we have a spare ticket? I don't know if Andrew's given it away yet, because me, my dad, and my brother all got tickets split up, annoyingly. Well, I'm with Andrew, and Dad was going to be in a spot behind the dugouts, but his back's given in, basically. It's really annoying that you're not there, because I would quite like to say hello. I love you too, Scooby-Doo too. I don't know why I've not just done like my Scooby-Doo impression to that. Because it's not a good Scooby-Doo impression. Neither's my Shaggy, but... Ah, well. There we go. Alright, let's think of a title. Don't know if I want to go something generic like Must Win Battle, or... Alright, biggest match. No, it's not work. Let's go wide. Let's go small. Let's go across. Of the season. Because it is. That one isn't even clickbait. I don't even need to clickbait that. That's just truth. Bosh, make that smaller. Go like that. Make that that. Cool. Bish. Bang. Be yellow. Thank you. Center the text, because what I'm going to do is I am going to have Farke on one side, Wagner on the other. Am I? Shaggy from the movies is a murderer and things in Criminal Minds, and it spooked me. You see, this is where you separate the actor from the acting. Probably be there for the friendlies or cup games next season, Joe. Would be nice to meet up at a game. That's a point. There's the balls knowledge thing that I was talking to you about that I haven't announced properly yet. Thus will be very vague in this bit of conversation. Are you down for that or nah? It's totally up to you. I don't mind either way. Well, I do. It would be nice to have you there. But if you're feeling it, that would be spectacular. Right, show me David Wagner. You can't just not recommend meeting me whilst you're actively moderating in this chat. That feels off. Is that centered? That's centered. I'm really glad you guys are great proofreaders. No one noticed. Don't think I can. Childcare issues might be able to get sorted, but I don't know just yet. That's fine. It was more of a... It doesn't necessarily need to be cup games or friendlies. Yeah, just let me know when you find out all is well. Right. Give me Daniel Farke, not Gary Brannan. One which is easy to delete the Getty images from. Thank you very much. Or, since we decided that we were managed by Evie now, we could always put Evie in there. Do members get priority for tickets if we get to Wembley? I imagine so. I would be confused if we didn't, because that just sort of makes sense. I imagine it'll be season tickets, then members. Let's flip horizontal. Right, I need to finish stream in not much time at all, so I'm going to have to go first. Magic Eraser, get rid of, firstly, the neck flob. Oh, that was perfect. And then the Getty images. Cool. I don't need the entire Getty images gone, just most of it. And blend the color. That is close enough so that anyone looking at it in a thumbnail doesn't notice. You see, it was this, or record the preview on the train, and last time that happened was really stressful. So I don't think I want to do that one again. And then we will pull up a Leeds. Why is it in graphics? What? Why are there Leeds graphics? Since when have these exist? These would have been so nice to know about. Holy shit. Oh, that's frustrating. All right, it's uploads I'm looking at, isn't it? Yes, I'm looking for Leeds. I'm looking for their badge. I'm going to do their badge. Their badge is going there. Norwich. Did I forget to label Norwich? Yes, I did. Well done, me. God. Yeah, as I've said previously, if you have any issues with the graphics and stuff, just let me know, because as much as it feels like I'm having a breakdown whilst I do this, it's weirdly therapeutic. Why does Norwich look bigger? Right, how are we feeling on that as a thumbnail? Colourful breakdown therapy. That's the perfect way of putting it. Right, I'll lift that. I'll lift you as high as you can go. You cannot go lifted. Group these. No, not you, Daniel. Boom. Lift. Wabang. And I will copy paste. Preview. Norwich badge needs to be smaller. It looks huge. That's the thing. It's the same size. This is why graphic design annoys me. And this is why I got a whole ass book about graphic design, but for some reason I've not read the bastard yet. Now a little bit better. Tiny Crizzy's gone missing. This is a second thumbnail. So it's a little bit different. Glad you like it. So that will be Norwich preview. I'll download that, and that one will come out first thing tomorrow morning. That'll be the ADHD as to why you've not read it yet. Yeah, shut up. You'd have to do that. That's mean. I mean, you're 100% right, but stop it. You're making me all displeased with my adahudda. Yeah, so that is that done. I'll do the uploading in a minute. Issue is I can't show you the uploading because I would need to end the stream first. So, how are we all feeling? Just generally. Are we still having a mental breakdown over the football? Or are we a little bit positive now? Because I think I'm feeling good. I'm feeling all right. Bacon? Where's the bacon? Can I have some? I want bacon. Why would you do this to me? That's not fair. Now I want to eat bacon. Oh. Tired. We're feeling tired. Yeah, that's about right. Scooby. Sorry. Hold on. Like, zoink, Scoob. Scoob! You took all the bacon. That was, no. I can do zoink, Scoob, and that's it. And I don't think I can do my actual Scooby right now, just because this hurts real bad. Saturday I was having a breakdown, but today I'm not so anxious. I am in a not anxious position, and I will be in a not anxious position until I get into the ground. That's where things are going to start feeling downhill. That's where the bad vibes kick in. That's where the spooky do comes in. I can back not wanting him to get picked. I can't back actively wanting our players injured. That feels like there's a mark that you've danced over a little bit there. Right, what was I going to check? People, for some reason, are still watching my Sky Sports Hates the Fans video, which is going really well. And you know what? I'm kind of glad. Because I wrote that with the intention of, yeah, but this is going to get clicked by some, like, other folks that don't support Leeds. If it goes to Pens, we'll need Peru, to be fair. Yeah, I think that's the case. At least if Peru gets the ball 25 yards out, we'll think about shooting. That's true. Yeah. If I had more time and I wasn't having to nip off in like a minute, then I'd go stats bitch and find out more, but it's fine. Right. I'm going to leave that there anyway. Thank you all for joining me in this stream. It's massively appreciated. What do you mean, Farmer Jew? These ain't new Farmer Jew. This is Heart Fuzz Jew. It's like, yeah, it's our film with Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. Farmer Jew. Unacceptable. Don't like that. Not even one bit. Feel like Rattell will finally score a beast from 40 yards. That'd be spectacular. I'd love it. No, what I want to happen. Joe, I meant Joe. It's the way the accent goes. The ultimate dream is Junior Firpo scores the winner in added time, and I finally can stop the Furpo crusade. That is where I say, that'll do. I've won. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, pop a like on it. That's always massively appreciated. Helps to sort of go out beyond the usual gang, which is I love the usual gang, but also I like talking to like as many people as we can because I like this little community that we're building. It's always nice and positive, and I love it. If you're not yet, please subscribe. That'd be massively appreciated. I'd say comment on the stream, but you've all been commenting on the stream anyway. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you later. Or when StreamYard decides to actually end the stream. In a bit.